This episode's random word is...
少女漫画.
Shoujo manga. What is shoujo manga?
Do you know what manga is?
Manga is a very popular word in Japanese language because it is used to describe comic books.
Yes.
So this.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so what is shoujo?
Shoujo means girls.
Girls. What do you mean? Like girls mangas? Like girls
Yeah, like the manga, pretty much like made for girls.
What does this entail? Beautiful men?
Yeah, pretty much. Beautiful men always like have nice romance with the girls in a story. Most likely. Not only about like love story, but yeah, most likely.
So what's the opposite of that? Is there one for men?
Yeah, shonen manga.
Shonen manga.
Shonen means boys.
Oh, okay.
Shoujo, girls. Shonen, boys. I think kind of like indicates.
Okay, yeah. Indicates.
Between, like, indicates the age between, I would say like 12 to 18.
Okay.
Or a little bit under 18, like 16 or 17.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes.
What are their stories about?
Shonen?
Yes.
It's more like a friendship, like efforts, or like heroic kind of like stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
You know, like the famous one. It's like a Naruto or One Piece.
Okay.
Yeah, those are like shonen mangas.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, that's all like heroic stuff.
Yeah, right. Like the friendship, like, you know, making effort to bring you good result and such. Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. So, anyways, the word of the day was?
Oh, shoujo manga.
Shoujo. And then the men one was?
Shonen manga.
Shonen? Okay, got it.
Shoujo manga, shonen manga. I think if you ever like Googled any like mangas, like shonen, shoujo, those are like those are one of genres.
Okay.
And then they don't actually like get translated in English. They would still be like shoujo or shonen.
Shonen.
Yeah, so if you ever wonder, shoujo means girls, shonen means boys.
Gotcha. Perfect. Well, with that said, that is the word of the day. We're here, and we're here to teach you about basic Japanese grammar and particles, focusing mostly on particles today because this is the most important subject in all of grammar. Am I true or am I lying?
Yes.
Oh, good. Yes, I always find with beginners, learning the particles is always what they complain about, and myself, it's what confuses me the most. When I'm trying to construct a sentence, not only is the grammar confusing, but knowing what particles to use is extremely confusing, and what even particles are. They're very unique to the Japanese language. So let's just start off, Chisa. I will say a sentence in English, and you will say it in Japanese.
Okay.
Okay? And then we will explain how the particles are used slightly and continue from there. Ready to go?
Sure.
The first sentence is, I am a superhero.
私はスーパーヒーローです。
私は superhero です。And
You look so cheesy. Anyway.
I am cheesy.
Okay, cool.
Anyways,
Let's go.
From there, 私は the wa particle was used. And Chisa-chan,
はい。
the wa particle is used to state the subject. Am I correct?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. So there you have it.
Yeah,
Watashi-
stating.
Stating, right?
Yeah, makes no sense.
Because watashi is I, and wa is like marking it. Like I am the
Yes.
subject of the sentence. Wa
Yes.
am a superhero.
Yeah.
And that was just superhero des?
What?
To say superhero in Japanese?
スーパーヒーロー。
Superhero.
Yes.
All right, there you have it. Moving on to sentence 2. I will go to Mount Fuji.
私は富士山に行きます。
Aha. Did you hear it? Watashi wa.
Yes.
Ni. Ni is another particle. And ni is used to say where you are going, correct?
Yes.
Okay, say that sentence once more. Listen for ni.
私は富士山に行きます。But I think like somehow I feel like instead of ni, you could use e.
What's the difference between ni and e? I hear that all the time and it's starting to frustrate me. Why are they different? Is there a clear explanation?
I feel like when you use it, it's always kind of like more like a formal situation.
Oh, really?
But then like I'll go to the Mount Fuji doesn't sound like anything
It's a very
formal.
for
like,
my business.
Yeah, sure. Just to like get some photos for your business. It could work. But then like I think 私は富士山行きます。富士山に行きます。富士山へ行きます。
You would just naturally use e?
ディズニーランドに行きます。I think, I don't know why. 富士山に行きます。But somehow for Mount Fuji, maybe you should change that.
No, it's okay. It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is the whole part of
Okay, sorry.
particle confusion.
Somehow for Mount Fuji, I would use e instead. But then like mostly, like most of the case, you should use ni.
Ni. Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe because Mount Fuji, like to me, is just like far away, plus very high, right? So like ni.
It's a beautiful place.
Like again, like as I said, yeah, I know it's a beautiful place, but not like that. Like a ni,
food.
when you think of ni, it's more like you just kind of like telling about the place.
Yes.
Where you can go casually, I think.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, in that case, like you need to be more serious. コンビニに行きます。
Yes.
You could say コンビニへ行きます but then like it sounds like, oh, like very serious kind of issue.
Going to Family Mart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so for example, like, if you say like, oh, I am Buddhist, so I'm gonna go and then, have a practice at the temple.
Yes.
Like I would say, temple is otera. In Japanese, I would say, お寺へ行きます。
So
rather
that makes
than
sense.
like I would say like お寺に行きます。It sounds so casual. I'm gonna go just practice today as a Buddhist. Yeah, so
makes sense. Makes total sense.
Yeah, me, I might be wrong, but that's how kind of like I think that's how my brain works when I speak Japanese.
You might be wrong, but you are definitely Japanese. So I trust you.
You shocked me.
No, but honestly,
I feel like you're trying to deny like my identity, but I am Japanese.
No,
okay.
That's the best explanation I've heard because I've seen ni, e, and there's another one. I can't remember. De? But that's easy to explain the difference. We'll get into that later.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, ni and e. So e is just a more formal version of it, right?
Yeah.
Simply put. Anyways, let's move on to the next sentence. Okay, the next one. Ready for this? Please bring me delicious food.
Oh, sorry. 美味しいご飯を持ってきてください。
Oh, I heard the particle from that sentence is whoa. Right?
I should say also 私に持ってきてください。
Oh,
Right.
me bring
Yeah.
delicious food. Say it again.
美味しいご飯を私に持ってきてください。
Oishi gohan wo.
私に
Watashi ni
持ってきて
motte kite.
ください。
Oh, kudasai. All right, so that whole sentence, I recognize ni and wo. And did you notice in all of these sentences, the particles come directly after the word that they are marking, correct? So what it says, watashi ni. Ni is the particle to bring to a location. So this bring me, right? So ni was put right after watashi, which is I.
Oh, yes.
And then the next one was gohan wo. So gohan was meal, and then wo, the particle wo is used to attach to the verb that's at the end of the sentence, basically. And then you said like to bring. To bring. What is the verb for to bring in this sentence?
持ってくる is, I think, the dictionary verb.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Motte kuru. So gohan wo, and then the verb at the end of the sentence was motte kuru, to bring.
Yeah.
So gohan meal was affected by the verb to bring. So it is to bring. Anyways, don't worry too much about the translating these sentences properly and the proper grammar.
We're just showing the particles.
We're just
now.
showing
Yeah.
how particles work, and we actually haven't really explained too much about them yet other than showing you some examples. So I'm just going to quickly stop here and tell you particles are unique to Japanese from my understanding, and what they're used to mark specific words within your sentence that kind of help you understand and break down how the grammar works and what is affected by the verbs and the nouns and what marks the topics. It basically just marks words in a sentence, because in Japanese grammar you can shuffle words around, and as long as the verb is at the end of the sentence, it still can mean the exact same thing. You will see this in a future lesson, which I will be launching next week, actually. So you'll see how grammar can shift around, but as long as the particles are in there and they're used to mark words, like this word is going to be affected by the verb. That word can be like the first word in that sentence or the third word, depending how you shuffle it around. But as long as you can understand how the particles are marking words, it can still mean the same thing. That was a terrible explanation, wasn't it? How would you explain particles?
I was lost in the middle.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah. Particles?
Yeah, in a simple,
You throw him
in a more simple
just
way.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fix
shit.
what I've broken.
Practice makes perfect. So
Yes.
we just need to keep listening to like particles, and then each time I think we'll explain like why like this particle is used in this sentence and such.
Yeah.
I think that makes more sense rather than just listening a whole explanation at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Learn from examples.
yeah, sure.
Yes.
What did you explain? So
I explained like particles, they mark specific words within your sentence
okay.
and how
Yeah,
they are
yeah.
affected by the grammar
just
within
wanted
it,
to-
basically.
okay, you wanted to
Yeah.
summarize what they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, well, simply put, what particles in Japanese are, how we use it, like use them, is just like pretty much like same as like English. You know, English has like at or in or on,
Yes.
right? Like like sometimes like you don't even need them. I don't know what is the word of those like at, on, or like in, or sometimes to.
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know what they're called.
I'm sure
They're
there's
not verbs.
You must know, but anyway, that's like that's pretty much like what it is in Japanese. For
Right.
example, like this glass is on the table.
Right.
Then like you use on, right,
Yes.
in English,
Yeah.
but then like in Japanese we
Yeah.
use a different word. Of course, it's different language, right? Yeah. So like you could pretty much think like particles equal like on, at, to, or whatever. Like
Totally.
you put like between like nouns, verbs,
Yeah.
anything in a sentence. But Japanese Japanese particles have, I think, a little bit more.
Much more.
Yeah, things
Yeah.
to do, and then like also like take a little bigger role.
Yes.
Yeah, when you speak it.
Yeah.
So like you might have like a much more questions about it, and then but then like simply put like
Yes.
it's just pretty much same as like or
Yeah.
on, at, or something like that. Yeah, and then just you need to add like like more information about Japanese particles into your brain.
Yes.
On the top of all.
And on top of all, particles, there's much more particles than there is in the English language to say like to, at, in, whatever. But not only is there more, they also mean many more things. Like one.
Are you trying to make it so confusing? I
No.
was trying to make it simplified. Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yes. So, for example, the particle wa can mean different things. It can be used to, correct me if I'm wrong, it can be used to state the main subject of the sentence, or it can be used to compare two things together. I'm
Oh
sure it
yeah,
can.
like again, like as I explained,
Yeah.
like the Japanese particles do a little more,
Yes.
like roles. So we can just cover by like a sentence by sentence as
Yeah.
we go. Yeah, because like I think that's easier, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just make it more practical.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Like so many like particles that English can't cover because it's totally different language.
Yeah.
But nothing to be so like overwhelmed.
Yes. No.
Yeah, it's just like you can take it pretty much like just like as like a tool or add whatever
Yeah.
that you use in English. But it's a little different. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah, and then like each time we can just explain more.
Yes.
And then if you have like any like specific question,
Yes.
we are very happy to hear too. Because like it's nice to see like one like different perspective.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we can solve those problems. And one other thing that's really interesting about particles is the massive effect they have on the sentence, right?
はい。
So you can literally have the exact same sentence, but you just swap the particles, and this is going to show you the difference you can truly make if you use the wrong particles. This is going to be fun. Are you ready? Okay, so I'm going to read it in Japanese. Chisa-chan is going to do the English.
Okay.
Okay, so just listen to what particles are used and notice how the rest of the sentence is the exact same, but the end result is going to be very different.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready? The power of particles.
Oh, I see.
私は納豆を食べる.
はい。
What does that mean in English?
I eat natto.
You eat natto?
Yeah.
Me too. 私も. 私も.
あ、はい。よかったです。
Mo is the particle to say me too.
Yes.
Also. Okay. So anyways, that sentence, 私は納豆を食べる. I eat natto. Now, wa and wo were the particles used. Let's hear what happens if we change it.
Okay.
私を納豆が食べる. What does that mean?
Natto eats me.
The natto eats me this time.
The natto.
The natto. That sounds very scary. Eaten by a soybean, a fermented soybean. See?
That's scary.
But isn't that crazy? We just changed two particles and the whole sentence flipped itself. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go to another one. Okay. 私も納豆を食べる.
Oh, interesting. That's fun. Okay. Ah, I also eat natto.
You also eat natto. You see? It shifts very much so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you don't have to change the order of like any like parts in a sentence, right?
No.
It's easier,
It's
isn't
easy.
it?
See? It affects everything.
Yeah. Once you master particles, you will be perfect. Most
Exactly.
likely.
You will be practically, particularly perfect. I can't even say that.
By
Eh?
being able to use particle.
Correct. Okay, one more example here. 私と納豆が食べる.
The natto and I eat something.
Interesting. So now I eat natto, and then we had the natto eats me.
So the natto became your friend.
Somehow he digested me and accepted me. And then we both
Yeah.
now eat.
That's how you make a friend, right?
Right. Cannibal.
Understanding
like a-
understanding who you are is important. So natto
Yes.
needed to eat you. It
Right.
needed to digest who you are.
I'd rather just
Makes
shake your
sense.
hand, but
Yeah,
we can
sure.
go other way.
Okay.
Anyways, when it comes to particles, it's a whole big subject. But I hope this has given you an example, good example of the understanding of how crazy natto, I almost said, how crazy particles can affect your grammar and how big of a role they actually play in Japanese grammar. Now, what I've done is I've created a video lesson showing you a bunch of examples and breaking down the true nature of particles and some basic Japanese grammar. So that's going to come out next week on the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe so you can see the full thing and see some really cool visual examples. And again, this episode was truly made to just give you an introduction to what particles are. So as we move forward, we're going to be covering individual particles, and you can get a lot more in-depth understanding of each one individually. But at this point, I feel like it's more important that you understand how they work and what they are, and a little bit about basic Japanese grammar.
Great.
Great, indeed. So I hope this has helped you. And in terms of Japanese grammar, what else is important? Like, all I know is if you can learn the particles just by themselves, you're going to understand so much more about Japanese grammar overall, seeing how things connect and seeing how things are shifting and meaning and relating to each other. That's kind of the biggest thing in terms of Japanese grammar. Wouldn't you say so?
I think so.
You think so? Yeah.
I never cared about particles, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, you need to understand the order of sentences in Japanese.
Yeah.
And then like any sentence always has particles. So once you the meaning, if once you master particles, that means like you understand grammar as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so like everything comes together.
Yes. Just like me and Nato becoming friends.
Yes.
One other thing I will mention about basic Japanese grammar, one of the biggest rules is the verb always comes last, correct?
Verbs always. I think so.
Like, for example, in English, we would say, today I ran to the lake. But like... Oh, this is another bag. I'm full of bad examples today.
What when I learned English, one of the teachers told us about like how you should think of like making sentence in English. It's like English tends to have like a more important like things explained first.
Okay.
Yeah, but then the Japanese is kind of backward. It's more indirect. So like just like Kyle said, like I ran to the park. Like I is the most important part in a sentence for sure. Because like otherwise, like who did that type things, right?
Yeah.
And then like and the next like I ran, right?
Yes.
So like we need to know what he did.
Yes.
Yeah. So like as long as we know like what he did, like okay, so we kind of we could understand like the situation, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe like where he ran to could be just like something that comes after.
Yeah.
But then like in Japanese, like culture is just so more like indirect, and we like to keep like things vague.
Yes.
So that we don't have to really hurt each other and such we need to. The most important part in in Japanese culture is just to keep everything go along very well with a great harmony. Yeah, so I think that's why our language is very indirect.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why verb comes maybe in end, and plus we tend to omit subject, like who did.
Omissions.
Yeah, omission always happens, so that we don't have to kind of we don't have to stress who did it.
Yeah.
So that we can always hide mistake.
Yeah, totally.
Type things.
Oh,
yeah, right.
You are erased.
Yeah, but then by living in Japan, you get pretty better at understanding what people thinking without being even able to speak.
Must be good psychologists out there then.
Yeah, without speaking, you can get that kind of get the feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's another big thing. Actually, I forgot to mention was omission. Omission is just removing subjects from the sentence. Like if I was to say, "Hey, what did you eat for lunch?" You could just say, "Fish ate." But you in English, I'd say, "Oh, today I ate." But in Japanese, you don't say I ate. You just say ate fish because I already know because I asked you specifically.
Yeah, English always starts with I or whoever made the action.
Self-centered language.
Yeah, but then also very straight direct language, right? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, directiveness.
Yeah. It's more fair, I think.
Yeah. And going back to the verb at the end of the sentence, I tried to give you an example and then I realized I failed. So I got a better one for you. In English, I would say, I drove a car. And in Japanese, you would say, I car drove. Right? You would say, I car drove. But in English, you'd say, I drove a car. Right? So the verb was kind of, I drove a car. But in Japanese, I car drove. It could be I car bought. But it's just backwards a little bit like that.
True.
Good?
You can just totally have the omission again.
Yeah, totally. Oh yeah, car drove, or bought car. Yes. Or
Yeah, you
car
could say
bought.
like a car drove. That's all.
Perfect. Well, I hope that gives you a good introduction to particles and a little bit of basic Japanese grammar.
Yes.
And prepares you for the official lesson coming out soon to dive deeper into this exact subject so you can visually see more on this and in depth and master your understanding of particles and basic Japanese grammar with some cool examples. All right, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming out, and it won't be so awkwardly visually set up as this, but we made it work very well, I think.
I hope you didn't mind.
No, I think this is great. It's going to be awesome.
We need some tea and then like a snack,
We need
right?
something. We need like a big
I miss Japanese
omiyage.
sweets. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a big omiyage bowl.
Yeah, Kyle didn't bring me omiyage today.
I made dinner.
Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha. All right, well, until next time, we will see you and speak with you soon. Enjoy learning Japanese. Arigatou gozaimasu.